Okay, if you're an Indian MSME trying to navigate the absolute maze of new environmental regulations, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to clear up a massive point of confusion that could directly impact your daily operations, your legal standing, and honestly, your bottom line. We're breaking down India's green credits versus carbon credits, so let's just jump right in. So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Are green credits and carbon credits the exact same thing? Right now, literally every business owner, manager, and consultant is hearing these two buzzwords. They're being tossed around completely interchangeably in boardrooms, in vendor meetings, and in project proposals. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway right up front. Assuming they're the same is a dangerous trap. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of two entirely separate legal and market instruments introduced by the Indian government.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First up, the buzzword trap. Second, unpacking green credits. Third, understanding carbon credits. Fourth, the two essential ledgers. And finally, an MSME practical action plan.
All right, Section 1, the buzzword trap, why confusion costs you. Look, mixing these terms up isn't just a minor slip of the tongue. It costs you time, money, and your business's credibility. Why? Because these two credits belong to completely different legal frameworks. If you're an MSME and you start using the wrong terminology in your proposals or client presentations, you're basically demonstrating a clear lack of compliance readiness. You might promise a client a carbon credit for planting trees, but under the law, that's entirely incorrect. Claiming the wrong framework can lead to immediate compliance failures, rejected proposals, and a devastating loss of trust with major corporate buyers who definitely expect you to know the difference. Moving right along to Section 2, unpacking green credits, environment positive action. So what actually is a green credit? Well, the Green Credit Program, or GCP, is a mechanism governed by the Ministry of Environment, Forest, and Climate Change. It was notified under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. The core focus here is to encourage voluntary environment-positive actions. Currently, the ministry describes this as focusing heavily on plantation activity and building an inventory of degraded land for afforestation. So the key thing to remember is that a green credit rewards a specified physical environmental action, like actually going out and planting a tree or restoring land. It starts with the physical action itself. Okay, let's flip the coin. Section 3, understanding carbon credits, GHG accounting. Now, the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme, or CCTS, forms the basis of the Indian carbon market. And this is an entirely different beast. This is led not by the Environment Ministry, but by the Ministry of Power and the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, the BEE. Its legal foundation is completely different too. It stems from the Energy Conservation Amendment Act of 2022. Under the CCTS, certificates are issued strictly for the reduction, removal, or avoidance of greenhouse gas emissions. It's a highly technical framework with compliance obligations for certain entities and offset mechanisms for others. It relies on strict It relies on strict emissions data and energy math, not just physical environmental actions. When you stack these two up against each other, the differences are just massive, and it brilliantly illustrates why you absolutely must keep these two concepts separated in your head. For the Green Credit Program, the ecosystem is run by the Environment Ministry. It's based on a 1986 environmental law, and it focuses on voluntary plantation. On the flip side, the carbon market is run by the Ministry of Power and the BEE, based on a 2022 energy conservation law, and focuses entirely on greenhouse gas reduction. If your business is tracking land and plantation data, you're talking Green Credit Program. But if you're tracking energy data and fuel consumption, that's the CCTS. You can totally see why calling everything a carbon credit is factually and legally wrong. Now, consider this a bit of a reality check for every MSME out there. There's a ton of hype right now about generating quick cash by selling credits. We really need to burst that bubble. The immediate business value of participating in these programs is not selling credits quickly. The realistic value is compliance readiness. It's about building cleaner documentation, proving your ESG credibility, and ensuring that your enterprise is eligible for verified market mechanisms down the line, assuming you fit the approved methodologies. Use these credits as a badge of environmental accountability, not as some guaranteed cash flow model. Which brings us to Section 4, the two essential ledgers, your accounting blueprint. To protect your business and truly prepare for the future, you need to maintain two distinct ledgers. It's like keeping your business books balanced, but for the planet. First, you have the Environmental Action Register. This feeds directly into the Green Credit Program. Here, you're documenting the activity name, the location, the dates, the responsible person, alongside photographs, geotagged evidence, invoices for tree saplings, and maintenance responsibilities. Then, totally separate from that, you have your energy and emissions register. This is what prepares you for the carbon credit trading scheme. In this ledger, you are meticulously tracking electricity bills, your fuel bills, production data, your major equipment list, specific boiler and furnace details, diesel generator sets, and your monthly energy intensity. 2 entirely different goals, 2 entirely different sets of data. And finally, Section 5, the MSME Practical Action Plan, Next Steps.
All right, here is your actual to-do list. Number 1, physically set up that basic environmental action register for any plantation or restoration work you do. Number 2, create that separate energy and emissions register for your facility's power usage. Number 3, track these 2 ecosystems completely separately. Number 4, and please hear me on this one, it's a critical warning, do not promise credit revenue in your business proposals unless your activity is already eligible under a notified, verified government methodology. Trading claims absolutely must wait for official eligibility. And finally, number 5, for carbon credit readiness, map out whether your MSME belongs to an approved offset sector. The BEE has listed specific sectors for offset mechanism phases, like energy, industries, agriculture, waste, forestry, or transport. Find out exactly where you fit. You've got to build the evidence first and save the credit claims for later.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Look at your current operations, pull up your files, and ask yourself honestly, is your business documenting for tomorrow's carbon market today? Because the frameworks for green credits and carbon credits are being built right now as we speak. The businesses that understand the difference, avoid the buzzword trap, and start organizing their dual ledgers immediately, those are the ones who are going to thrive in this new compliance landscape. Don't wait for the regulations to force your hand. Start building your evidence today.